Today we face the same cliff, but we will climb in entirely different ways, each encapsulating a distinct philosophy towards risk. Faced with decision's precipice, does clinging to the solid rock of certainty bring us safety, or does it anchor us from achieving our utmost potential?
Two rock climbers, Alex and Sarah, approached the sheer face of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park, a colossal granite monolith that looms more than 3,000 feet above them. Both are accomplished, yet one carries an air of cautious calculation while the other a buoyant, fearless swagger. This divide asks us to consider, are we more like Alex, who clings tightly to security, or Sarah, who embraces the dizzying height with open arms? This debate, framed between the towering silhouettes of giants like El Capitan, is not confined to the world of extreme sports. It infiltrates every corner of our lives, demanding a confrontation with fear and prompting the existential inquiry, if you risk nothing, then you risk everything. Society often heralds the conservative as wise and the daring as reckless, yet is that really the case? The tales within this essay argue otherwise, suggesting a world where calculated risks can redefine boundaries and catalyze innovation. Our bodies and brains are wired to respond to perceived threats in milliseconds, triggering a cascade of hormones like adrenaline and cortisol that can either paralyze us or prepare us for a phenomenal leap. But what makes some choose flight and others fight? The visual cortex sends a signal to the thalamus, no mere relay station, but rather the central hub for decision-making. Here the paths diverge, flee, or face the danger head-on. Understanding these primal responses helps explain why some are innately more daring than others, and how we might be able to shift our natural inclinations. The science of neuroplasticity tells us that our brain is adaptable. Regularly confronting fears doesn't just build character, it rewires the very circuitry of the brain. This adaptability can be honed like any skill, turning the timid into the daring with persistent challenge and exposure. Consider Gandhi's salt march to defy British colonial tax laws, or Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat in Montgomery. These were calculated acts of defiance that rippled beyond their immediate circumstances to ignite massive social change. Despite the immense personal risks, these figures assessed the moral and social bankruptcy of compliance and chose action. Their decisions, steeped in personal peril, leveraged risk for a greater good, highlighting how the courage to confront societal norms can redraw the lines of history. Each story not only demonstrates the personal cost, but also the broader transformation initiated by such risks, providing living testament to the maxim that great gains often come from great risks. Today's culture, especially in the developed world, seems excessively risk-averse. This orientation around safety is perpetuated by a media landscape that sensationalizes failure and a legal framework that often penalizes risk-taking. Educational systems focus on error-free learning, and corporate environments emphasize sure bets over innovation. This pervasive fear of failure stifles creativity and can inhibit potential breakthroughs in various fields. Yet, embracing the possibility of failure as a necessary step towards success can liberate the individual and collective psyche to pursue bolder, more audacious goals. Venture into the heart of Silicon Valley and you'll find a culture that not only tolerates risk but celebrates it. The startups dotting this landscape bet everything on ideas that aim to disrupt and redefine industries. Secondary to the innovative tech products is a philosophy imbibed by its pioneers. Fail fast, learn faster. Here, failure isn't a scarlet letter, but a badge of courage. It's understood that avoiding risk might keep you safe from failure, but it will also likely keep you from making monumental advances. We'll analyze how this philosophy feeds into the products we use every day, from smartphones to software, changing our lives and our expectations. Within the realms of art and culture, risk-taking has often been the precursor to revolutionary movements. From Picasso's introduction of Cubism to the controversial performances of Marina Abramović, artists have always ventured into unexplored territories, challenging societal norms and public perceptions. This piece, when first unveiled, was met with shock and bewilderment. Yet it shattered traditional perspectives on art, paving the way for a new era. Similarly, Abramovich's performances, which often involve physical risk and emotional exposure, continue to provoke and engage audiences, pushing the boundaries of what art can be. These examples illustrate how the arts act as a laboratory for societal change, where risks are taken to question, redefine, and expand our understanding of the world. In communities where risk aversion dominates, change is often slow and innovation can stagnate. Such environments can promote a culture of conformity and discourage the kind of thinking that leads to breakthroughs in social, economic, and technological realms. Regions that have embraced a culture of risk, such as certain areas in the United States and Asia, tend to have a more dynamic economic environment, leading to faster growth and innovation. In contrast, areas with a lower tolerance for risk often experience slower economic development and a reluctance to adopt new technologies or ideas. This part of the essay explores how the collective mindset towards risk can shape the destiny of communities and nations. The education systems in many parts of the world are still rooted in traditional paradigms that rarely encourage risk-taking. Standardized testing and rigid curricular structures prioritize right answers over creative thinking and problem-solving, which are essential skills in an ever-evolving world. Innovative educational approaches, however, like those seen in Montessori or Scandinavian schools, demonstrate how fostering an environment where children are encouraged to take risks and learn from failure can lead to greater creativity and resilience. This segment delves into the impact of these educational models and how they prepare children to face the uncertainties of the future with confidence and curiosity. In sports, the decision to risk is often split-second, yet can define careers and seasons. From a football quarterback deciding to throw into tight coverage to a climber choosing a precarious route up a mountain, each scenario encapsulates the essence of risk management. These moments not only highlight physical courage, but also strategic thinking and psychological resilience. Sports provide a visible, tangible example of how risk management plays out in real time, offering lessons on the balance between caution and daring that can be applied in various aspects of life. Analyzing these decisions can provide insights into the broader implications of risk-taking and risk management in personal and professional settings. The environment we inhabit deeply influences our perception of risk. Urban settings, with their quick pace and dense interactions, might foster a different risk threshold compared to the tranquility and predictability of rural landscapes. This juxtaposition isn't merely about pace, but also about exposure to varied situations where risks are either inherent or mitigated. City dwellers may become accustomed to the risks associated with high-speed, high-stakes environments, potentially becoming more adept at decision-making under pressure. This section explores how different environments shape our risk tolerance and decision-making processes, and what this means for individuals who transition between these worlds. Leaders who dare to risk have a distinct psychological makeup. Consider figures like Elon Musk and Angela Merkel, each a paradigm of risk-taking in their respective fields, yet their strategies and outcomes vary dramatically. Musk's approach exemplifies high-risk, high-reward ventures, often pushing technological boundaries. Merkel, on the other hand, managed risks in a calculated manner, leading a country through numerous crises with a steady hand. Both leaders, however, exhibit traits such as resilience, vision, and the ability to face uncertainty with strategic foresight. This part delves into the psychological traits common among such leaders and how their approach to risk can inspire and instruct future generations. Real-life stories can vividly illustrate the impact of embracing risk. This section includes narratives from various individuals who decided to step out of their comfort zones, whether it was changing careers later in life, moving to a new country, or starting a business with limited resources. Each story brings a unique perspective on the challenges and rewards of such decisions. These personal accounts highlight not just the successes, but also the struggles and failures that are part of the journey, providing a comprehensive view of what it truly means to risk it all. By sharing these experiences, the essay aims to demystify the act of taking significant risks and encourage readers to consider how such decisions could reshape their own lives. To live fearlessly is not to live without fear, but rather to acknowledge and engage with it in a way that allows us to move beyond our perceived limitations. This essay has traversed through various domains, from science to sports, politics to personal stories, illustrating the multifaceted roles of risk in human progress and personal growth. The synthesis of these insights points to a powerful conclusion. Embracing risk is essential for innovation, leadership, and ultimately personal fulfillment. The journey of risk-taking is fraught with challenges, but it is also rich with opportunities for profound transformation. As we step back into the world, let us carry with us the courage exemplified by those who have dared greatly. May their stories inspire us not just to dream, but to act, not just to plan, but to step boldly into the unknown. For it is there that we find the true measure of our capabilities and the real thrill of life.